Hey all, it's time for the Misano round, second to final round of the 3D Speed season, and you may notice that the camera is down here now. Got a new monitor mount. It's one of those swing mounts. It allows me to bring the monitor closer, which allows me to do more field of view while retaining the aspect ratio you're supposed to have. And the camera was up here, and it just basically saw the top of my head because it's a little bit higher. As a result, we've moved it down here. Let me know if you like it better or if I need to figure out a different place to put it. I have thought that maybe I can get it like right behind the wheel, but then the monitor itself might get in the way. I don't know. We'll find out. We can play with it and see what we can do. But obviously it's near my arms now, which is a bit of a problem. So we got this thing here, and I'm going to have to get up and move the recording PC into the mode, but let's have a look at how I did. So we're using Paul's setup today. So I am 11th at the moment. I was 10th. Not sure who bumped me. I think it might have been Tony Yimbo. I don't think he was up here. So he put in a good one at the end there. Good for him. I'm going to get crew chief up and running here. Boom, boom. Do a last minute fuel check. So we're looking at a minute 35. Well, really a minute 36 for a lap time. So there. 2.56. Yeah, we should be good on fuel. We're fine. And crew chief update. ACC. Wired up tire pressure, weather data. Yeah, nothing super useful. Skip this one. Okay.
Radio check.
Sound pack set up
radio check.
But alas, this is where
Nice lap, Burke.
And I am off to roll us into drive. Sorry if this causes any noise. Also, the microphone is further away from me, so sound quality might be down.
Are we gonna do forced push-to-talk?
I think we're okay. Didn't hear anyone making a tremendous amount of noise during qualifying.
Okay. Well, good luck, everyone.
Good luck, all. Make sure to turn your lights on.
30 seconds.
You can
What if I want to be in stealth mode?
Then you'll get a penalty.
Fair.
I think actually the game will give you a penalty if you don't have your lights on.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck, everyone.
Everybody have fun.
You too.
One step at a time.
Fourth of the silvers behind Martin Yimbo.
On my own
and
party.
Nelson. This is a big win because actually we have national flags here.
The track temp is 23 Celsius. Okay, Michael, get ready.
I don't know what anything else's number is. Canada's number 34. So it's not alphabetical, I don't think. A little close.
Floor it. Green, green, green.
Good start.
Car left.
Might be able to get Yimbo.
Clear left. On your left.
Be careful though with the cold tires.
Hold your line.
I know Yimbo
Still
tends to be pretty aggressive at the
Still
start.
there.
Oh!
Clear left. Left
Got
side.
into
Clear left.
probably Jake
Car left.
Northrup. Could have been Javier.
Still there. Clear left.
So that might be a penalty. I did not see him, which is a really bad excuse because, of course, I got more FOV available to me right now than I have in the past. So we lost a spot to Guillermo Martinez, up ahead of me in the AF Corsa Ferrari. Looks like Mika What is a little bit of a cork in the bottle right now. This was supposed to be the successful return of Darcy Parkinson, but he parked it. Typical problems of VR in this game being just not optimized. And of course, Darcy is a VR user. So all that running around to get him set up comes for naught. Was going to join Tony Yimbo in the Bentley fold. So aside from the contact
P12
with presumably Northrop, not a bad lap. I think this race will be very interesting because of the low light that we're going to get towards the end and the dropping air temp and track temp. So I got Jake Keckley behind me.
Yellow flag is sector 1.
That's a yellow flag behind me. Just saw a yellow car behind me, but it was not Chris Johnson coming through. Can't think of who it would be, actually. Maybe it's gold, and just in the rear view it's giving me a little bit of a yellow vibe. Could be Richard Higgs in the Lambo. To my inside, but I covered that nicely.
Alright, Michael, the next car is Martinez. Your front brakes are getting pretty hot.
Goal is to have some 35s at some point. High 35s. I qualified on a low 35. But the average lap time will probably be 36s. Hopefully better than that 36.9 I put up there, though. Gotta be careful about track cuts here. This track loves to give drive-throughs. Kinda breeds them. Also keeping an eye on my tires. The fronts have been a little cold. I should have probably done more to keep them warm, setup wise, but I was doing some stewarding stuff and
Defend hard, make them work for it. That's a new fastest lap for Burke, 135.36.
35.3? I thought people would be doing a little... Oh, track warn. I am surprised that was a track limit.
That's your quickest lap.
Actually. It was a 36.3. Although, got maybe a tenth or two off of going wide and picking up the track limit warning. I feel like I am definitely faster than Martinez.
P12.
find my way around there. Keckley and Higgs behind me. Qualified back there. But they are keeping up with me very... Oh, Keckley spins it. I've seen a couple of Mercedes lose it.
Sorry, mate.
In that section. It's like one of the New Yorkers might have gotten into trouble.
Gap to Martinez in front is now 0.7.
Flag sector 2. That'll be behind me. So still Richard Higgs behind me after Keckley's spin. Team is short one man today with John Picha out with PC troubles. Yeah, it's about a tenth that I got off of that.
P12.
Track cut. Judging by the delta through that turn. Which I guess is fair enough for a cut. When it originally gave it to me, I didn't think it would actually be a time benefit, because hitting those curbs that hard, I would have thought would have slowed me down more than the extra speed I was carrying, but apparently not. So I own my warning.
Sorry.
Oh, Johnny got somebody.
Higgs is getting closer. The gap's now 0.7.
Oh, he is. So I've got Higgs shuffling in behind me. I've got the general feeling that I'm faster than Martinez, but I haven't proved it.
The gap to Martinez ahead is now 0.8. The car in front is Martinez. V12.
36.1. That's not bad. It's about 0.8 off Q pace on a track that is slower, as it is later in the day. Grip's still good, I think. Feels like an optimum track still. Find out. Yeah, it's optimum, but it's down to 22 degrees from 25. Still wish there was more difference in the air temp to the track temp in ACC. You get it sometimes, but not all the time. So I got Martel fairly well covered up. Martel in 14th place. Shout out to Rick Martel. Doing very well.
The leader's just done a 134.94.
Also got a new cushion today, which is really helping with the back and butt pain.
P11.
We'll see how the knee feels at the end of the race. We'll see how everything feels at the end of the race. Higgs is a definite problem. I'm in touch with everything up to about Mika Watt. So,
Yellow flag in sector
Forward
3.
progress might be on sector 3. That might help. Sector 2 is super short here. It's basically that straightaway, this hairpin, and then part of this straightaway.
Okay, Michael, don't let this guy distract you.
Sector 3, I'm thinking, was actually someone near the back having a moment. We're a little over quarter way through.
The guy in front is Martinez.
Solid low 36s. Wayne Hutchison in the pits. That's not good. We lost a car, or that might have been Darcy. Might have been car 31. Remember when he quit. I know at one point we had 31 cars. Still got Higgs on my tail. More or less keeping pace otherwise.
The gap to Martinez ahead is increasing. It's now 1.8 seconds.
I realize at this camera angle you guys can all see the terrible beard maintenance. Been really lazy about it, not gonna lie. With the COVID. Clean it up if I have to go in the office, that's about it. Itch on my
Don't
thigh.
panic, you got time to sort this out. E11.
Had a really awkward time. Tires are starting to lose pressure as we go later into the day. I am actually catching Martinez ever so slightly. Last time through there we were at 1.4, this time we were at 1.2. So, you know, 0.2 is nothing really. But then he does better through this section. At a rate of 0.2, I'll be on him in, 6 laps. Let's see, lap times.
Okay, Michael, the next car is Martinez.
36.8.
You've just done a 136.33.
Oh, I made up like a second on him. Wow.
That's good consistency. Keep it up.
37.2. That is not fast at all. Also faster than Martin and what? And Martin is a big rival in the Silver Cup. I pretty much have to beat him today or have him no-show Kyle Almy to beat him. tighter. Problem is I'm bringing Higgs with. Gap to Martel is growing.
The gap to Higgs behind is now 0.48.
So it's really just Higgs from behind that is a theoretical problem. Plenty of time to go, though. .365.
P11.
So, was the fastest of the bunch again. Not ridiculously so. That's Chris Johnson ahead of what? So he's only in 7th place. Anytime Chris Johnson's not in the top 5, it is an interesting day. Within striking distance of Guillermo, but probably not through this Tony Yimbo lost connection. He was ahead of me. Well, I tip my hat to Tony. He just messaged me on Discord saying he didn't rage quit. He lost connection. Don't worry, Tony. I would never, honestly, never would think of Tony as a rage quitter. There's a, you know, there's a flaw to, you know, most drivers, myself included. We know who the rage quitters are. It's not Tony. Tony's flaw maybe is that he's a little on the edge at all times.
The driver in front of us is Martinez.
Which can lead to some moments. That's a really bad third sector.
Your lap time was 136.62.
Someone did a 35 up ahead. Didn't catch if it was What or Martin. I'm assuming it was What. In the Santa Lock Audi. Means I am up on the silver podium with the demise of Yimbo, which is sad. Got some clearance from Higgs. Rick Martel's sticking with us, like within 6 seconds to 5.5 seconds, which is a very time gained. Would not have wanted to take a second warning right there. Whew. That would have been bad. No drive-thrus yet. We're approaching halfway.
The gap to Martinez ahead is now 0.9.
Looking at the... Might yank up the traction control. If I start feeling the car isn't giving me the grip I want. As that is David Brock up ahead.
Car on the right. Clear on
Doing a
the
good
right.
job of staying out of the way. Kudos to Mr. Brock. It's always difficult when a group, like I lost some time there, but you can't get mad at that.
P11.
It's always a bit of a pain when, you know, like that was what, 5 cars in a turn that he had to let through? Martinez has slipped away from me a little bit, though. He's not going anywhere, though. He's stuck behind Martin, who I believe had some purple sectors in practice.
That's 20 minutes to go.
And who
20
knows?
minutes.
Now,
Okay, Michael.
it's
Halfway home.
practice, so
Fuel's
who
good.
knows what the fuel and so on was like. Feel like he might have been doing some
Thanks,
light
man.
fuel runs while the rest of us were still on heavy fuel. That was just Rick Martel thanking Mr. Brock.
Defend your position. Don't let him through.
Rick having an excellent day, leading the bronze race. Cannot tip my hat enough to the bronze drivers who show up and work their ass off, because they get a lot of flack for, you know, getting in the
Car ahead
way
is
or
Martinez.
whatever. And it would be very, very easy for them to just give up, and they don't do that, which is beautiful.
Sector 1 is 0.39 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.26 off the pace. Sector 3 is 1.1 off the pace.
Looks like the deeper the race goes, these three are, well, at least what is struggling with something in the grip level. You can see him going quite wide in a number of turns. So I wonder if he set his car up for too high of temperatures. It's a little side by side though. Martin and what? But doesn't look like anything came of it. We're still keeping up pretty nicely with Chris Johnson. So he's not just out there cruising.
Alright, Michael, you've got half your fuel left.
Forget what the championship standings look like, but I think Johnson's still in it. That fight. I think it's him, Burke, and Murrah effectively. Because Paul's had a couple of bad results, and Dominic has had a couple of bad results lately. And the other guys who you'd think would be competing for it, Murray and Little Higgs, haven't actually shown up for a race.
P11.
So still Higgs behind me to worry about. Felt the haven't completely lost the grip yet. I haven't had that feeling. Pressures are still good, although they're lower than we started on. Obviously started north of 27.5, which is ideal, as far as I understand it. Still able to get them up above 27.5 every once in a while, so still good. Still good grip. Do have to think about gapping Martel enough to penalty-proof me a little bit. If I am getting something.
Okay, Michael, the next car is Martinez.
Or that first lap incident with the red Mercedes. Still not sure who that was. Pretty sure it was Northrop. Javier, I think, was too far back.
Sector 3 is 1.1 off the pace.
And the other red Mercedes is Wentworth, who I think was top 5 on the grid. So I imagine he is up ahead somewhere. Just avoided a track cut penalty there. Too close to Martinez for comfort through that section.
15 minutes left.
And now this is a bit of the follow the leader section. It's the one thing with Misano is there's not a ton of great overtaking spots. That hairpin is kind of the last one until like the last 3 turns. Of course, messed up. And dropped off the back, not necessarily a bad thing. You can get big and bold like I did last season through there. The Javi Perez Torres maneuver, as it is somewhat known as. Because he was arguing with me and Paul last season that you could totally make a move through there. So,
P11.
and they've kind of slowed into the 37s. So did I that lap, but mostly due to some mistakes. Let's flip the traction control up a little bit. I am feeling the car kind of squeal a little bit out of some of the acceleration zones. What's the gap back to Martel? Only 6.5. Damn it. I really need to get more gap to him and Jeffries. If I got a penalty, and I could, so lap 1, no self-report needed, no report by the other guy needed. It is an auto review. That could, right now, put me as far down as behind Jeffries. And that's not where I want to be.
Okay, Michael, hold your nerve, just keep it smooth, no mistakes.
What got very wide through there, but so did I.
Right, the guy ahead of us is Martinez.
Isn't it just Martinez, not Martinez? Or have I been saying that name wrong this whole time? I don't know.
P11.
I'd like to get some laps in the 36s again. I think I've been in the 37s the last 2 or 3 laps. Which is not bad, but was just thinking about that possible penalty I'm facing. And what's lost a spot to Martin?
Yellow flag in sector 3.
That's not good. And I got 2 cars between me and Zach. At least Nelson, I think, is in the lead as Silver. Martin's just been dominating Silver so much that I'm rooting for, like, the other Silvers just to beat him, just to keep it competitive.
On your left. Clear left.
That was a bit of a bold move by Higgs, and I think he caught the curb. I didn't feel contact. Did anyone see? I mean, I'm talking to a non-live crowd right now, but we'll have a look. But I don't think I caught him. Still a little bit of something in the air. Could be from outside. I do have the window open. Could be a bit of dust in one of the fans too. Hopefully it's nothing serious. My computer monitoring software is not squawking about anything, so it presumably is not.
Okay, Michael, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
If it is the computer, it is something in the dust burning area. Jeffries is actually closing in on me. That's not good.
White flag, mate.
Somebody went off.
Slow car ahead.
seeing a lap car involved, so it's somebody from the front that went off. Or maybe it was Javi.
Your last lap time was 1:37.52.
See Javier Perez Torres in the pits. It's two good friends of mine in the pits this race. Wayne Hutchison earlier. I've lost Tony Yimbo, Darcy Parkinson, and possibly one other. From this race. Richard Higgs getting to come up on me. Jeffries is running really good laps back there, which has me very nervous. Guillermo gets the move on Mika. I don't think this is over, though. I would say neither of those were the appropriate line. Sort it out, guys.
Higgs is closing in. The gap is now 4.0.
I suspect I'm on a penalty, so I'm not, necessarily looking to, per se, get past you. Is just run good laps. Tempted to go up the inside there. Oh,
Left side.
Martinez leaves the door wide open.
Hold your line. Clear left.
I have to brake into a turn that doesn't usually require braking, though. So that did not work out for me. Didn't get the spot and lost time. We're into the last 10 minutes. Fuel usage is a little higher.
Exiting the pits, watch out.
That's Javier coming out of the pits. Oh, like there is a random red car there. Feels like Martinez and What have really lost the plot. Now that Martinez isn't haggling him, though, it looks like Mika is settling back in. Maybe. Just see what he did for a lap time this lap. Richard Higgs is closing. Rick Martel has been overtaken by Mike Jeffries. I was hoping he'd hold them up because I think that was my hope, to become penalty safe from the two of them, was that they'd fight. I think with Jeffries clear, though, he probably, the way he's been running lately, because he's had some really good laps the last couple times around, he's on his game. 36.3 from Martin, so he's out of reach.
That was 136.87. All right, Michael. 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
The other thing, could somebody run into trouble with the fuel? Maybe. I have noticed that my fuel projections are a little higher than they were in practice and qualifying. At 2.57. It's not enough to trouble me, but someone who went on a more risky fuel strategy might be messed up by that.
That's 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes.
What is very squirmy?
The gap to Martinez ahead is increasing. It's now 1.1 seconds. P11.
Thing is, it doesn't really matter if I have a penalty. Which I've been kind of racing like I do, which is maybe not.
Hurst is entering the pits. He's in P27. Looks like he'll come out just
Damn
in
it,
front
Dixon.
of you.
That's one of my teammates. Our bronze driver, Dixon Hurst. Our only bronze driver today. Normally have two. That's a good lap. Everyone kind of did a good lap there. So, the track is still there. You can still do fast laps around here. We're catching up to some kind of traffic parade here. Whom? David Brock in the mix, so might have just been a blue flag holdup. Which can happen here. This track is difficult. Drive-through penalty car 999. Oh, I got distracted by that. Messes up a pretty good lap. Darn it.
Higgs is closing you down. The gap has
That
come
was
down
one of
to
the Cheneys
1.0
of the
seconds.
drive-through. That's not of a concern to me. That's a... Whoa! That's Mika. What?
Come on, Michael. Push, push, push. We can get this guy.
Spinning out.
Left side. Clear left.
Terrible, terrible lap. It's going to be worse for Mika, and Mika is way back now.
10th position.
I hate to say it, but I was kind of predicting something from what at some point, the way he was struggling around some of the turns. I have a cable behind the monitor that's getting in the way of one of my hands.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Really need a drink, but I also don't want to take my
Just
hands
2 minutes
off
left.
the
2 minutes to
wheel.
go.
And I can't feel where my camelback straw is right now. I should probably try just having it on my back instead of on the back of the chair. So Johnson is still 7th. Martin 8th.
That lap was at 136.87. Okay, Michael. 5 minutes of fuel remaining. 5
Trevor,
minutes.
who got the drive-through. Surprised we've only had one. This could be the last lap. No black flags for going the wrong way. That's nice. I hate it when that happens because I think it's a classic example of brain, why are you not with me right now? Of the game not being realistic. There, in real life, there would be a human steward to watch at the rejoin that causes that black flag around here. Okay, so we got one lap after this. Just got the leader on the lead lap, or on the final lap.
White flag.
That's Hurst. That's a lap down. Alright, well, we got one more lap. One more lap than expected.
Last lap.
Let's see if anyone has made a mistake on fuel. Because anytime the leader goes on the last lap with like 1-2 seconds on the clock, that's when the fuel calculations that were aggressive are having problems. On the dark side, I do have a Higgs on my tail. And judging by his pace, let's turn the traction control up a little bit. We're getting a kick out on acceleration.
The leader has finished the race.
Leader has finished the race, whoever that is. Kind of hoping we see some gas running. No, not really. I don't want to see people run out of gas. Although it does give me material to make fun of them. Just ask Paul Riccobeni. And done.
P25. Okay, it's over.
Bring it back to the base.
Not P25, but okay. So the back of the butt are actually feeling okay. The knee is a little locked up, which I did not expect the knee to be helped by the cushion, really. I think it bought it. I think it bought it a little bit extra.
Clear left.
Looks like Johnny Major may have run out of gas, but on his cool down lap. See everybody. People still finishing the race. That's a problem. Bring up the smoke is kind of cool at night. So Andrew Burke, as expected, because that Ferrari's super strong around here. Here's your race winner, William Murrah. Darren Turcott gets a podium. Much needed. Wentworth, Nelson, Riccobeni, Johnson, Martin, Martinez, myself may be facing a penalty. And unfortunately, the problem with that is that might drop me behind Higgs and, well, definitely will drop me behind Higgs and Jeffries. I think I'm safe from Martel, though. Martel is the bronze winner today, ahead of Andreas. Larry Foster not in there, so that's good. That's nothing against Larry, that's just, he's dominated the bronze, much like Martin has dominated the silver. And any challenge that can come to him would be nice. Probably.
What's your speed limit
Probably
in the
still
pits?
in third, though. We'll have a look at the results when we get there. Cole McRae returns with an 18th place. Good to see him on the field. Justin Swan in that V12 monster that is just not strong around here.
Lap 1 gets automatically reviewed, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I would like that.
Alright, let's have a look.
Wow,
at
I finished
the final
18th. I expected to lose way more positions than that.
Yeah, there is Foster, third place, ahead of the Trevor Cheney, Dixon Hurst, and Brock. We lost Yimbo, Hutchison, and Parkinson.
All right, good race. Thank you, folks.
Mm-hmm. I nipped somebody at the beginning, but I don't know who it was. I think it was
I got
North.
it.
I think it was Northrup.
But it wasn't you. It was Liquidus.
Happens.
Yeah, I think he was late braking into the turn 1.
Yeah. Feel a little bit bad for him sometimes because that ping just makes it really hard to be safe, but he's subject to the same rules as everybody else. I had a little bit of lateral grip problems, Mika, but you were having way more.
I can attest to that. For some reason, on that one high speed turn, remember
What did
taking
you-
sixth gear.
what did
Right
you,
after that, I lift off for braking, and before I can even brake, I started spinning.
What did you two use for aero deviation?
I don't think I messed with aero at all from the
Yeah, you're gonna have to start doing that. The
negative 2.4%.
That's too low. You need to be up higher. The 2020 physics have a bit more of a yaw float or snap or what I call it snap, but
Interesting.
whatever you want to call it. And only the two new cars are immune from it. Not so much that they're immune for it, but their setups take.
They're tuned a little differently.
Exactly,
Yeah.
their setups take it into account. The other ones don't, and the mid-engine cars in particular struggle with that. So you do need to play with aero. You do need to correct for it. I posted a video from I can't remember if it was Eris or Nils, but one of the two.
I'll take a look. Well, I hadn't had any problems like that, even on cold tires in qualifying and practice. So I was a little caught out, but it ended up working out all right.
Well, it's also going to be a little bit more present on heavier fuel loads and that kind of thing.
Makes sense. That's probably it.
But yeah, you got to adjust that, especially in the Audi, the Lambo, the older Ferrari. I don't know about the Honda or the McLaren. They might be okay just because of their general stable nature. But definitely, the Audi definitely needs adjustments for that. Needs more negative aero deviation.
Okay, noted. Well, I guess I'll start searching for that video you're referring to.
I'm never taking air pressure advice again from you, Mike.
What happened with your air pressure? Mine was fine. I actually was very pleased with mine.
Well, you talked about the big drop, so I pumped them up 2 psi on each tire, and I ran into...
Did you do 2 full psi or 2/10 of a psi?
2 full.
Oh,
So,
no.
Because you talked about dropping 6.
0.5, sir, 0.5.
Oh.
Never would you see a full psi drop of that kind in a race. No, never.
Yeah, so I ran the whole race in the 30s, and then it dropped down to the mid 29s at the end.
That'd be like a snowstorm hitting mid race, Dave. Come on, no. Anytime we're talking psi, we're talking tenths of psi.
All right.
Like a full psi is an extreme adjustment. Like
Yes,
I started the race at like 27.8 and dropped down to about like 27.3 by the end. I lost like a half psi per tire.
Yeah.
That tracks about with what I had.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit different, obviously, with driving style, your car, your personal setup. There's going to be differences.
A tip of the hat to you, Mike, for mentioning that before the race started. I bumped my PSI about half a PSI on all tires, and ended up being about perfect.
I think I could. So. I think I commented on who in the onboard had taken my advice, because there were some cars that were still strong at the end of the race, and some cars that were really struggling, probably with low PSIs.
Is Justin in here? No. Okay.
All right. As per usual, report anything to Jack that needs to be reviewed. I don't think Antonio was here, which is maybe a good thing, because he's a little bit high on the penalty points. Mika, I think your problem was the aero deviation. If you and Cole both didn't adjust for the snap, that's why you guys probably were feeling a lot of lateral drift.
For me, it was mostly on the first 2 or 3 laps. After that, it kind of, I think it's mainly a tire thing, but I'm not 100%
yeah, I mean,
sure.
it's basically all the corners, Mika. I can see Mika's chat with me, so. But yeah, if you guys weren't aware, the 2020 physics have made the default setups not useless, but you need to adjust them a little bit to have more negative aero deviance. The exception would be if you're in a 2020 car.
Because
they're adjusted perfectly fine.
Yeah, mostly the stuff I adjusted was I don't even think I touched the arrow. I did adjusting on a lot of the other suspension stuff, but not on the arrow.
Yeah, but
That makes sense.
It's the yaw physics actually that that you'll get that
lot more,
get the snap
lot more lateral snap.
Yep, exactly. So it's literally a a couple of clicks in the rear and maybe take the front end up a click or two.
Wow.
And also you can adjust.
That's all you need.
You can also adjust for it with the wing.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah. Take a bit of wing out of it as well. But I found
Well, usually you want to add. You usually want to add wing.
Really,
actually.
add it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it snaps a little much. And normally I prefer that. So, but it did make it a little bit of a handful in some corners.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
track,
this high-speed right-hander.
track is always going to be a little bit. This one's always got a little bit of lateral drift and a little bit of snap to it. So you add in the 2020 physics being a lot more snap happy, and you've got yourself a snapper.
To whoever took out the braking markers for the final corner, you have no idea how much damage you did to my race with that. In jest, of course, I'm kidding, but I audibly said aloud, "Oh no!" when the 50 was gone. That's my breaking point.
Yeah, we were,
and then the 100 was gone at the end. I was like, "What? Is nothing holy to you people?"
We were in our team chat at the end. Sorry, Mike. We were in our team chat at the end, and I called out, "Oh, somebody took out the 50 marker at the last turn." They're like, "Yeah, that was like 3 laps ago, Dave." In
the groove a little bit, David.
Yeah, that was not my brake marker, right? So
yeah, maybe it was you, you son of a gun.
Yeah, right? Could have been. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to it. So
All right,
we're gonna have to make a note about that in the next Academy race, I think. No,
let me get close to the mic. Let me know in the next.
Take a screenshot.
Let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the new setup. What do you think we should change? This can move. It's on a little. Let's see if I can actually show it. Show the webcam's mount on the webcam itself. There it is. It's this cable here. It's got a cable mount, so it can move. It can go places. But it probably can't get like here. Like right on the face, because that's the screen. Not really anything that'll works there, but we'll give it. We'll work on the setup and come up with anything better. Hopefully, I got the top 10, but we'll have to see about the first lap contact, which I'll go review now and see if I think it's a penalty coming.